Gamer is an anime about Karen Tendo, a beautiful second-year teenage high school student who made a really shitty game and fucked 5 guys for a bunch of positive reviews. Now, some people might say that Karen is just a slut, not a review whore, and that there is zero proven correlation between her fucking 5 guys and getting positive reviews. And I'd just like to say, yeah, you're right. There is no legally proven correlation of the fact that that Karen Tendo fucked 5 guys for positive reviews. But she did fuck them, that's for sure. And, looks like they all work for game review sites. Go figure. After finding out about getting cucked, Tendo's former boyfriend, Kiyata Amino, got pretty pissed. He didn't do nothing violent. No. He just wrote some big old letter about how his gamer girlfriend's a slut who'd suck dick for fame and fortune over his shriveled floppy ass. Amino types up his whole report, sends it to a bunch of different people, and voila, drama is made. This is all the backlore to Gamergate, with episode 1 kicking off as the reactions these events make throughout the school. Everybody's in panic and moaning as secrets are revealed, and the entire essence of what it means to be a gamer warps into something both gay and pretty slutty. As Karen Tendo tries to undo the damage her adultery has caused her, that by going onto several mediums and stating, without proof, that her boyfriend was abusive and that she didn't do nothing wrong, because being a whore suddenly means being empowered. Meanwhile, another character, male-leading classman Tatsuki Uehara, voiced by Adam Baldwin, shows up and lambasts Tendo for not accepting the consequences of her actions. In response, Tendo calls Uehara another harasser, and a challenge of valor is issued. The two gather parties, formulate sides, and collect their armies. A war occurs, one which ends with Uehara's silent slaughter. He survives, just barely, the episode ending with a light whisper lisped from his lips. Gamergate. That thus the tie-in to the show's name. Episode 2 starts off a few days after the first, in which a young wench named John Flint— No. I'm sorry, that was very transphobic of me. I mean, in which Chiaki Hoshinomori, a male to female freshman student, treads through the halls of classrooms, declaring that they have just been raped by Gamergate.
What happened?
These guys, they just can't stand women in gaming.
What did they do to you?
They leveled up.
This is all true, by the way. Anyway, so, Brianna Hashinomori says all this, and for some strange reason, people call her a liar. In fact, many people have never even heard of her before, and many accuse she of just self-inserting herself into the situation without merit for the sake of just getting fame. This scheme works, and world famous from her participation in Gamergate, Hashinomori manages to release her $500,000 budget game on Steam. This took $500,000 to make. These are the graphics. I'm not even lying. The epilogue to her route shows Hashinomori speeding away from a hate crowd atop her newly purchased motorcycle she bought with all that Patreon money that was supposed to go towards her game. Meanwhile, Karen Tendo and Kiyata Amino are fighting off in court for several major legal allegations that monster faces. These lawsuits include acts of violence, sexual assault, and non-consensual behavior that violates a natural and consensual agreement of a relationship. Now, naturally, that monster should be locked up for everything she's done. Oh, I'm sorry, wait, it's Eren who's facing these? What the fuck? These court cases are long and tedious. Boring, I might add. I would even be willing to call them filler, because of how much they don't matter to the actual plot. Episode 3 of Gamergate is the epitome of the show, as it wraps everything back to the fold, returning to the basic plot to its very roots, that Gamergate is about ethics and journalism, and Marvel Studios themselves takes to it to adapt this masterpiece, one-lining several famous quotes that will definitely not someday be outdated. But actually, I spoke too soon, because Gamergate takes it back a whole nother notch in level, and newcomer, Aguri, who appears on the Colbert Report, reminds us all that this show is about violence against women.
But by criticizing these, you say, would you call them male fantasy games or male fantasy objectification of women games?
Some of them, that would be an
some of them?
accurate title,
Which-
yeah.
Give me some names. Name some
Metroid!
In the work that I do, I look at hundreds of examples of video games,
So
and I
can you give three?
identify.
Can you think
Metroid!
I can, but I think it's
Metroid, you dumb bitch! Naturally, the media was pissed and said that this question was too hard for someone whose entire career is dedicated to this very topic. Episode 4 was kind of stale, but it did introduce us to the true protagonist of the show, Milo Yiannopoulos. You see, it turns out that ever since Gamergate started, it's been leading up to a catalyst that will eventually cause something big to occur that'll reset all of life back to the beginning, thus reverting back time and upstarting the thing that will lead to the event in the first place. Milo comes from an alternate reality in the future, in which case Gamergate from outer space is canon with the Earth timeline. Thus, he is exempt from the rules of time traveling and remembers everything exactly the way it happened. That's why he's always been on the sidelines. That's why he's always been in the OP, even though we never see him. He's always been there, waiting, watching, making subtle cameos that only a true fan of the series would be able to recognize. And that brings us to the final episode. Episode 5. 5 Guys. 5 Guys. It's all connected. It brings everything back, all that nostalgia, all those memories and recollections to the truth. 5 Guys returns everything to nothing by ending at the beginning and starting at the end. The catalyst has begun. The war starts. The violence doesn't cease. It goes on and on and on. Endless bloodshed. But during all this chaos, during all this war, love still finds a way. And a child is born. This the cause of the catalyst. This child, one named Vidya Gaines. Upon being born, Vidya rises. She ascends beyond. Karen Tendo peers up. Kieta Amano looks yonder to the sky. And Tasuke Arahara, with Hoshino Mori, and Aguri, and even Milo Yiannopoulos, they all look up to the stars, fearful of what they've started, what they've created. The ultimate gamer waifu. Ah! And then I turned the TV off because my boner was gone.
He has no style. He has no grace. This con has a funny face. He can handstand when he needs to and stretch his arms out just for you. Inflate himself just like a balloon. This crazy con just digs his tune. Donkey Kong.